I'm Megyn Kelly. Should a woman be paid the same as a man for doing the same job? That is the question of the morning. And the answer is, it depends. How long have the two of them been there? How strong are their resumes and experiences versus the one another? How well do they do their respective jobs? How good a negotiator is each one? All of these things typically go into the final salary, which is why it's generally meaningless to simply just compare bottom line numbers in search of claims of gender bias. Unless those numbers happen to be so disparate that any fair-minded person would see they are unfair and possibly unlawful. Enter Michelle Williams and Mark Wahlberg and the ironically titled film, All the Money in the World, which apparently went to Wahlberg. USA Today reporting that he was paid $1.5 million for a last-minute reshoot of that movie right before Christmas, while Michelle Williams, his co-star, received just under $1,000. Just under $1,000. NBC News correspondent Joe Fryer is here with this story. Joe?
Hey there, Megyn. You know, last year, Forbes named Mark Wahlberg Hollywood's highest paid actor, saying he banked $68 million. Well, this morning, it's that one paycheck in particular that's getting a lot of attention as Hollywood confronts the issue of gender equality.
Don't tell me you don't have the money.
The film All the Money in the World taking on a new meaning this morning. New claims emerging about a significant pay gap between two of its stars. Overnight, USA Today reporting Mark Wahlberg earned $1.5 million for reshooting his scenes in the movie, while his co-star Michelle Williams earned less than $1,000 for her do-overs.
Nothing.
The $10 million reshoot necessary after Kevin Spacey was dropped from the movie and replaced with Christopher Plummer, as more than a dozen men came forward accusing Spacey of sexual misconduct. Last month, director Ridley Scott told USA Today everyone did it for nothing. But according to the paper, Wahlberg's team, which also represents Williams, negotiated the hefty fee, while Williams immediately agreed to reshoot her scenes without any knowledge of her co-star's pay.
For me, it was an instant yes. I was so relieved. I'd just been heartsick for weeks thinking about how this thing that we loved making was going to be all for naught.
Overnight, outrage online, fans and celebrities rallying around Williams, including actress Jessica Chastain, who tweeted, "She's a brilliant Oscar-nominated Golden Globe-winning actress. She has been in the industry for 20 years. She deserves more than 1% of her male co-star's salary." The news coming just days after the Golden Globes, where both male and female stars said time's up on gender inequality and sexual misconduct.
I don't think this is about money. It's about power.
Business. Tell him I'm coming.
NBC News has reached out to Wahlberg, Williams, and Scott for comment, but so far we have not heard back. Megyn?
Joe, unbelievable. We're going to get to more on this in a minute. But first, I want to ask you about James Franco, because he's gotten in some trouble, too, after his appearance at the Golden Globes wearing the Time's Up pin. And some said it was like dangling the red cape in front of the bull, because he has had an alleged history when it comes to sexual harassment that has now come back to bite him. Tell us.
Yeah, that's right, Megyn. James Franco appeared last night on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert and denied allegations of sexual misconduct. Earlier this week, Franco won a Golden Globe for his performance in The Disaster Artist. But on social media, the actor was criticized for wearing a Time's Up pin by a couple actresses, including Ali Sheedy, who posted a series of vague tweets, including one that said, "James Franco just won. Please never, ever ask me why I left the film TV business." Her tweets were later deleted, but Franco responded last night.
Okay, first of all, I have no idea what I did to Ali Sheedy. I directed her in a play off Broadway. I had nothing but a great time with her. Total respect for her. I have no idea why she was upset. She took the tweet down. I don't know. I can't speak for her. I don't know.
On Sunday, another actress also accused Franco of sexual misconduct. Franco says the things he has heard on Twitter are not accurate, but he also says he supports people speaking up and having a voice. Megyn?
Joe, thank you. NBC News legal analyst Danny Cevallos joins me now to talk about all this. Danny, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So let's talk about Michelle Williams and Mark Wahlberg. If unequal pay can actually be illegal. It can be unlawful. It can be gender discrimination. So how do we figure out whether that happened here?
There are several laws that apply. In California, California has a state law, and then you have federal law, you have Title VII, and you have the Federal Equal Pay Act. But in California, they recently enacted an even stricter Equal Pay Act. No longer can employers defend on the idea that, well, you know, this job is not exactly like the other job. As long as they are substantially similar jobs, then the law applies. But that's the challenge in Hollywood, because no job is exactly the same in Hollywood. If you're a bottle capper at the Schatz Brewery, then that's a similar job
easy.
that you can say that's pretty easy to decide, well, I work this number of hours and I should be paid this. But actors, actresses, people in entertainment, you could make an argument that no two jobs are exactly alike, and that's the challenge with the law.
See, I understand that. I mean, as somebody who works in media, I get that. When I first became a news anchor, right, I had been a reporter, and then I was promoted to anchor, and I was seated alongside Bill Hemmer, who had worked at CNN for a number of years, and then he was at Fox News for a number of years, and he's still there. And I was not getting paid what he was getting paid, and I understood that. That was fair. He had been an anchor a lot longer than I had. His was a bigger name. I was still working my way up. I didn't expect, even though we were co-anchoring the same show, I did not expect to be getting paid what he was paid. That, to me, did not seem like gender bias or even, you know, an argument about equal pay or unequal. But this situation over here is different. In no world are his services worth $1.5 million over those days and hers worth $1,000, and especially when they're represented by the same agency. So if Michelle Williams calls you up tomorrow and says, "What should I do?" what do you say?
Well, here's what you would say. You would say the number one person you need to talk to is your agent, because Hollywood works in a free market. At some point, Michelle Williams, any actor, makes an agreement to take a job for a particular dollar amount. And unfortunately,
but she's being told that everyone is doing it for free.
Yes, that, of course, is misleading, because the strange thing is most of the time these negotiations are done in private. Nobody knows. But it's a totally different thing if you were induced to take a job for a lesser amount because you were assured, and I don't know by whom, that everybody's getting exactly the same thing. Therefore, you should go along. And that sounds like that's what happened here. That's a different situation than everybody getting into a job, signing a contract, keeping their negotiations private, and accepting whatever the free market offers.
I'll say this one thing in William Morris's defense, the agency. Sometimes you've got this agent representing this person and this agent representing that person, and it's not necessarily the case that they talk. Right? Just because they're at the same big agency, it's not necessarily true that William Morris, the agency, understood he was getting 1.5 and she was getting 1,000. We'll find out, I'm sure, in the days to come. And if they did, there'll be questions about why they didn't lobby harder or at least push harder. Even if they weren't at liberty to go back to Michelle and say he was getting paid a lot more, they were in a position to say to Michelle, why don't we push a little, right? Why don't we push a little bit?
For more than scale.
Hint, hint. Right, exactly. Let me ask you about James Franco, because he's out there saying, I only ever had a great experience with these people and so on. I mean, what we're seeing with these accusers is one sort of lights the fire and then more and more and more come. And so if you were in the position of advising a man in a potentially Me Too situation like James Franco, what would you tell him to do? Would you tell him to show up at the Golden Globes wearing the Time's Up pin, out there sort of owning it, when you already, like in his case, we knew that he had a history of allegedly sexting or, you know, inappropriate text with a 17-year-old?
If you're going to advise somebody, if they have some history, if it isn't yet known and it only comes out after they appear on the Golden Globes, that's one thing. But just like you said, James Franco, there were titters of this kind of behavior in advance. So I would advise someone that you're taking a gamble if you decide to go on a national TV show, globally viewed TV show, and talk about, or at least represent or speak with a badge that you support these women's issues when you are so susceptible to attack. But then at the same time, we have to acknowledge that there are such things as false accusations. That's certainly James Franco's position here. So we have to keep that in mind, that not 100% of allegations are always true. We have to make a credibility determination in every instance. It's the only fair thing to do.
We did a story just the other day of a young man who lost his future. He was falsely accused of rape when he was a high school senior. He had a full scholarship to USC. He went to jail for 5 years, and it was all a lie. she had made the whole thing up. So it is not the case that every woman tells the truth. But I would submit it is the case when you have woman after woman after woman after woman after woman after woman coming forward with respect to one man, the evidence gets a lot more compelling. Danny, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.